Bill, good morning. How are you, man?
I'm doing well, guys. How are you?
So you see the name pop up yesterday for the report about 5 minutes before Wade takes the podium. What's your first thoughts?
Well, it's to be honest, not surprising because of the wire the phone tap that came out in the fall, and you see that happen, and you got to believe that somewhere down the road he's going to his name's going to be brought back up and looked at or asked to be heard more from, and they have reason to when a phone conversation like that comes out. So it's not really surprising to me. But the thing about it is one thing that's left out of that report, and I think we have to wait and see is which side called him and subpoenaed. Is it the FBI or is it the defense? If it's the defense, that certainly makes it a situation where his testimony would be defending these guys on trial and things like that. So depending on which side subpoenaed Will Wade, I think we'll say a little bit more, and that information was not included in the report.
Is there any way of knowing whether or not this is a big deal today?
I don't think so. I think both sides would have questions that they would want answered. But right now, at this point, it's a phone conversation that there's you can take what you want from that phone conversation, but that happened an entire year before that recruitment even got serious. And one thing I can tell you is I was pretty much wherever Will Wade was this summer in July, and he didn't watch Balsa Koprivica once during that time, which is pretty telling in the recruiting game. He was around the country watching different recruits, and for the most part, we were generally in the same area, but he wasn't really watching Balsa once. So that just kind of shows you, I think, how serious they ended up being on even recruiting him.
So there you go. He didn't even watch Koprivica, and LSU's a Nike school. I feel good.
Bill, give me the difference in the climate between football and basketball recruiting.
I would say basketball is more organized a little bit. If you kind of follow it, it's pretty natural that offers can go out after that summer, going into the prospects' junior season after they watch them on the circuit or what have you, and then from there it's kind of developing relationships and things like that, and then you might see and now recruits can take official visits in the fall as a junior, so that's kind of changed things a little bit. But you'll see a lot of unofficial visits here and there, and then in the summer is when it kind of picks up, and you can tell who the top priorities are for schools by who's watching them and who's there for every game. And take James Bishop, for example. LSU was kind of because of how late their recruiting process went for some of their 2018 prospects like Marlon Taylor and Cortez Cooper. Some of the coaches weren't out watching in the April evaluation period. So when July rolled around, they got out and watched James Bishop a lot, really liked what they saw, extended an offer, and were at every single one of his games from there on out. And then from there, they got official visits scheduled in the fall. And then, for a lot of these prospects, a commitment comes in the fall, and then you sign. And then some do take it to the spring, like we've seen with some of the targets we'll talk about here shortly.
Yeah, look, so we definitely don't talk basketball recruiting like we do football recruiting just year-round, Billy. We're talking to Billy Embody, recruiting expert here on Off the Bench. Anonymous user in the huddle says, Wade might be a one-year wonder. Class for next year, not good. What's your read on, or just give us an idea of how this class is shaping up and whether or not you think Will Wade kind of maybe not emulate exactly how the record class that he had last year, but where do you think he'll end up?
Yeah, I think they're in better position with returning talent. If you think Emmett Williams or Darius Days is coming out at this point, I think that's very unlikely for either one. So you're going to get them back. You're going to get Marlon Taylor back. You're retaining more talent than you certainly did a year ago when he completely retooled the roster. But this class, you've got a guy in James Bishop who's a really, really good 4-year type player. I mean, they think he's going to be just outstanding running the point, and he can play off the ball too. He's tough, physical. He really works hard at his game. He's very similar to Javonte Smart in that regard. And then Charles Manning is a pretty athletic wing that it's probably a little bit more polished than Marlon Taylor was at this point, but just not as athletic. So those are the two they've got signed. Then they're still very much in the mix for 5-star like Trent Watford, who's one of the top power forwards in the country. He's kind of similar to Days, I would say, a little bit of skill there to his game. And then Lester Quinones is really somebody who I think is going to end up in the top 50 overall in the country. He's a 6'5", 190-pound wing shooting guard that can absolutely shoot the three, and he's really improved on his defending. I saw him lock up one of the top 3 overall players in the country just last summer and held up to about 8 points. And that was before he went to the academy and spent his senior year there. He's having a good senior year. He just dropped 36 over the weekend. So those are a couple of the targets really to watch right now. And then I could see them going with a junior college player to kind of shore up the front court, or maybe a graduate transfer type to kind of fill that rim protector role. Because right now it just doesn't seem like there's many on the radar.
Billy, good stuff this morning, man. Thanks for hopping on with us.